over 100,000 on hand at the California Speedway, watching the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series run from daylight into dark. The race just passed 175 miles, and Jeff Gordon back on track after several pit stops under this caution. Let's go show you what happened to damage that right front corner on the 24.
16 car Greg Biffle comes off turn 4 and just explodes a right rear tire. They see the white car. The tire blows apart. Now it comes apart. It's on the racetrack. There it's coming down the racetrack. Here comes Jeff Gordon. And bam, ran into that piece of tire. And then along Matt Kenseth, the 17 car, will come along and hit it as well. And both those cars had numerous pit stops trying to figure it out. Bill, what they said on the 24 car?
Let's find out. I'm up here on the pit box with Robbie Loomis, currently talking to Brian Weitzel, and his driver, Rick Hendrick, car owner, is also up here. Robbie, real quick, how's your car?
Car, you know, hopefully it's going to be okay. A piece of that debris, I guess the tire came off, damaged the right front corner of the nose pretty good, but the DuPont race team fixed it up in pretty good shape, and we'll know here after we go back green.
Okay, Jeff, go to the end of the longest line.
I don't think they'll have to tell him twice. I really don't.
Dale Jarrett also making several pit stops under this caution. Dale was 23rd before the yellow. He's back in 35th now, Marty.
Oh, it's been an eventful day for the 88 bunch, Allen. He brushed the wall on lap 68. They have to go back to 35th now. 3 pit stops. Mike Ford told me the fender is now fine. They did top off with fuel. Green flag back out.
All right, Brian Vickers back where he started first. 25 car was a pole position winner on Friday.
Yep, there comes the running order across the top of your screen. Now they came off the pit lane. I'll just tell you that Matt Kenseth went from 9th to 36th. Jeff Gordon from 7th to 37th. And Dale Jarrett 35th from 23rd.
Casey Kane got a very good start. Passed a car or so up on that high side.
So tense on these restarts when the cars are so close together.
Caution flags will breed caution flags. There's no doubt about it. How about the 17, Marty? How much damage on Matt Kenseth's car?
Well, Matt came on the radio, BP. He said we ran over that debris, but it's really not that bad. Robbie Reiser very patiently got the car fixed. They restarted 32nd. They've already made up 2 spots now in 30th. He's already gone from the back to the front once. He'll have to do it again.
You know, we saw Matt Kenseth at Indianapolis run over a piece of lead that came out of one of the cars, and you said he came down pit road. Jeff Gordon hit it, and he stayed on the racetrack. Kenseth almost destroyed his car with that piece of lead. They had to replace the front frame section on the 17. That's how hard it was contact he made with it. Marty?
MVP, this is the same exact race car. Maybe it's jinx, you know? Maybe I shouldn't bring it to the racetrack anymore. It runs over too much debris.
Marty, it's bad luck to be superstitious.
That's true, BP. Good point.
Thank you. Our Miller Lite NASCAR Nextel Cup race fact. Who's led the most laps so far today? Brian Vickers. He won't want to hear this. The leader of the most laps has failed to win 3 of the last 5 NASCAR Nextel Cup races here at the California Speedway.
He heard you, Alan. He heard you.
Yeah, he heard you. He started to move over and let Mark Martin go by. It's okay, Mark, you go lead the most laps. And he said, okay, I think I will. I'll try it.
I'll tell you what, that 6 car looks so good. He is on the racetrack where he needs to be as far as the line.
Mark Martin out in front. Second time he's led in this race.
And I'll tell you what, if the 9 car of Casey Kane, the red car right behind, if he runs as well as Mark Martin, we're going to see 2 different contrasts. We're going to see the 6 right on the bottom of the racetrack and the 9 right on the top of the racetrack. That time Casey Kane ran the low side down in 1 and 2, but before long we'll see him back up on top. Matt, what's Casey Kane saying about the 9 car?
Well, BP, he's saying a lot of things. Yesterday he says, I know I want to be in that top 10, but I just want to win a race. Now they made a track car adjustment on that last stop and an air pressure adjustment to try to help that race car free up a little bit, but he was telling Tommy Baldwin, he says, when I try to pass the car, the back of my car just swings way out. Tommy was giving him suggestions on how to turn his car sooner and lower, change his line a little bit to help that race car.
Check out the points, NASCAR Nextel Cup points as they run. Mark Martin leading the race has jumped up 4 positions, currently in 8th. Casey Kane 9th, Newman 10th.
And who's not there?
There they are.
Kevin Harvick, Newman, and Bobby Labonte. 3 guys that were, or really are in.
As this race is over. That's as they run now. Harvick in 15th place in the race. Bobby Labonte is in 28th. And Ryan Newman runs in 10th. Now that's how close things are. You know, this thing has been building the pressure on these drivers that are just outside the top 10 as the races have wound down toward that Richmond cutoff next week. Jamie McMurray says he's been trying to figure out how to deal with the pressure of the race to the chase, and it's been kind of tough.
I don't really get a lot of time to think about through the week, just mainly when I lay down at night and go to sleep. It's just, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can sit and worry about it, and every time I worried about it earlier in the year, it seemed like we'd have a DNF. So I pretty much just, I mean, it's hard, and I'm very stressed out right now. I'm probably a little bit grumpy towards a lot of people that I'm around, but I mean, what are you going to do? You just go out each week, and last couple weeks we've run really well. We've had cars like that all year long and just have had some bad luck.
And you know what? You know, he says, I don't have much time to think about it during the week. That's because he's trying to preoccupy himself to get it off his mind. Because believe me, all these guys are thinking about it. And it is a ton of pressure, and it is a ton of stress. And they just want it over. And, you know, but like Jamie said, the best thing that you can do is get in the race car. Because then all you're thinking about is driving the race car, and you're driving your butt off, and that's all you can do.
Oh, look at this, 3 wide. Vickers up top, McMurray in the middle, Terry Labonte down below.
Oh, very close.
Yikes.
And McMurray takes that 42 car through the middle past those 2 cars.
6th place.
But you know, as soon as this pressure to try to be in the top 10 for the race for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Championship, then you've got the pressure of trying to win the championship.
Right.
So it's not going to get any better for these top 10 cars.
They get a little bit of sigh of relief after Richmond, then it starts all over again for 10 more weeks.
Joe Nemechek, 8th place, riding in the Army machine.
That's what the sun looks like going in turn 3. That's not too bad.
Dave Burns.
And that car's come to life, Alan. He restarted 13th by the way I saw it. Moved all the way up to 8. They changed 4 tires on that stop with no changes to the chassis because the car was coming to him, and I think that was a good call.
Yeah, and maybe, Dave, that the track is getting a little bit cooler out there. The track is coming to him as well. And that's what a lot of these guys are hoping for right now, is that some of them that were struggling, as the temperature goes down, the track is going to come to them.
Going to get another track temperature update here in a minute. It dropped 3 degrees in the first 45 laps of the race. We've almost put another 45 laps on, so we'll check that track temperature here in a minute.
See Joe right on the bottom, and man, I'm telling you, that's where you want to be. Pick up the gas, get on the gas really hard. Now he had to lift there just a little bit because the car picked up a push. The front started to slide, and he had to back off on the throttle. And what happens when you back off on the throttle, it gives you grip again. So you got to just get off the gas a little bit, wait till it grips, then get back on the gas.
Wow. Since lap 45, we're at lap 86 now, we've lost another 12 degrees of track temperature.
That's fantastic.
Down to 117.
Let's listen to Junior's throttle here and see how his car is handling.
Going down the backstretch, once again driving into a setting sun. So far, so good. It's not bad.
Oh, wow.
Lots of visibility.
Didn't like that entry line.
No, see, his car, to me, looks like it's very, very tight. It won't turn, and his car really slides up the racetrack. Gets a good run off of 4, though, on Tony Stewart.
That's for 18th place.
And Tony motions, go ahead, you got the spot.
It's down into 1. The car looks pretty good, though, in 1 and 2.
Ricky Rudd looked like he was struggling to get through the second corner. The 21 car directly in front of Junior.
So maybe this racetrack's coming back to Junior, too.
Right into that setting sun. Brian Vickers has fallen back to 9th place, Bill.
And it's not because of his pit stop. That was 12.8 seconds. But why has he dropped all the way back that far?
Why?
Let him tell you.
Car's just loose starting out. It's been starting out like this. Seems to be getting worse and worse. The track's just getting a little bit slicker, I guess, with rubber. Once their tires start going away and our high groove comes in, we'll still be all right.
This team also believes their car will be better as the evening gets longer. So as the sun starts to set, they believe the 25 car will get better. That's a wait-and-see situation on them.
Let me update you on a couple things. You just saw the 32 car go out of the picture. Bobby Hamilton Jr. Engine troubles on that 32 car. He is now 30 laps down. Also, Greg Biffle has just taken his car to the garage. So the damage from the tire ripping up the right side of that machine needing more work before he can continue at speed.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to run the minimum speed with bodywork like that here at this racetrack. You're going way too fast.
Here's a race for the 5th position and 4th spot. Michael Waltrip in 4th, about to give it up to McMurray in the 42, who looks like he's coming through.
Man, Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car was way up high off it to that time. Marty.
And he just came on the radio, Jamie McMurray did, so the car's gotten a lot better right here. It's freed up a bunch. I think the racetrack is coming to us. He also wanted to know whether Michael Waltrip was running the high line or low line. BP and Wally, we know the answer to that. He's running the high line.
Of course he was. That's all
of course he was. Bill.
Michael Waltrip says his car has developed a push, so that might be one reason why. They also lost a heartbeat on pit road when they got blocked in, and that cost them dearly.
And all of a sudden, the 9 car, Casey Kane, was running second. Looks like he was chasing Mark Martin down, and he has lost several car lengths. I don't know if it's something happened to the car, if he lost an ignition box, but Elliott Sellers gone by to take over the second spot. Matt, has he said anything?
BP, like a lot of guys, water temperature climbed to 245 to 250. They told him to see if he could maybe duck behind the 38 to get that debris off the grill. Meanwhile, Elliott Sadler, his water temperature is 240. In fact, Tommy Baldwin just said you've got to get real close to the back of the bumper of the 38 so you can change that air pressure and get that debris to blow off.
Well, you can see all the trash from the camera. There is a ton of trash, especially on the straightaway going into turn 1. This stuff is blowing all over the place, and he's got a bunch of garbage on the front of his car, Casey Kane in that 9. I mean, if he doesn't get that off, that water temperature is going to peg in about 3 laps, and that engine will blow.
They're talking about 240 degrees. We all know that water boils at 212. But under pressure, for every pound that you pressurize water, the temperature goes up 3 degrees. And they've got about 20-25 pounds of pressure on this system. So about 250, 260 is the max that they can have.
And then the water starts shooting out the overflow and the engine cooks.
And that drives the oil temperature up as well.
Here's Jimmy Johnson, Michael Waltrip racing for 6th and 7th. And behind them, Terry Labonte and Kurt Busch, 5 and 97. Kurt going to make this 3 wide.
Terry Labonte's got some trash on his grill as well.
I tell you what, every time we have that camera going down in turn 1, we see so much hot dog wrappers flying around. It's a wonder all these cars don't have something on the grill.
And while all this is going on, Mark Martin has built himself up nearly a 3-second lead. The 45-year-old veteran from Batesville, Arkansas, has finished 2nd in the championship on 4 different occasions, entering this race 35 points outside the cut line, trying to get into that chase for the Nextel Cup and see if he can finally win a title.